Pregnancy is often described as one of the most profound transformations a human being can experience, and yet no matter how many times it is told, every story remains entirely unique. For pregnant women, the months leading up to childbirth are filled with new sensations, shifting priorities, and a growing awareness that their body is no longer only their own. It has become a vessel of life. This realization can be exhilarating, but it can also bring moments of uncertainty as the familiar rules of daily life begin to change. What was once effortless suddenly requires care, patience, and intentionality. It is in this delicate balance between strength and vulnerability that many expectant mothers discover the incredible resilience of their bodies and the deep wisdom of movement tailored to their new reality. At the heart of this journey lies the understanding that physical activity does not have to vanish during pregnancy. Instead, it must evolve, soften, and adapt to the rhythm of a growing belly and the tender heartbeat within. Far from being something to fear, exercise, when guided by professionals and practiced with awareness, can become a source of empowerment. For pregnant women, learning to embrace gentle motion is more than an act of physical maintenance. It is a celebration of their body's changing form, a way of honoring its strength while preparing for the extraordinary task of bringing new life into the world. One of the most essential principles is simplicity. Light cardio resistance exercises, for example, can serve as a grounding foundation. These movements are not about breaking personal records or pushing limits, but about maintaining circulation, improving posture, and supporting the muscles that will soon take on the demands of labor. Think of soft squats, resistance band pulls, or low-impact leg lifts, not as strenuous workouts, but as mindful rituals that strengthen without straining. Every repetition carries with it a subtle reminder. This is not about competition, but about connection. Imagine a woman standing in her living room, resistance band in hand, sunlight streaming through the window. She moves with deliberate slowness, focusing on her breath, feeling the tension in her arms as the band stretches outward. With each inhale, she gathers calm. With each exhale, she releases doubt. The rhythm of the exercise becomes a meditation in itself. Far from a routine imposed by external expectations, these light cardio resistance exercises become a language of self-care, a private dialogue between body and spirit that says, "I am preparing, I am strong, I am ready." Yet beyond the walls of a home or gym, there is another environment that offers unmatched comfort and freedom: the water. Prenatal swimming or water aerobics stand among the most beneficial and soothing forms of exercise for expectant mothers. The buoyancy of water supports the growing weight of pregnancy, relieving pressure on joints and reducing the heaviness that can sometimes feel overwhelming. For many women, stepping into a pool feels like entering another world, one where gravity loosens its grip and the body can move with fluid grace once again. Close your eyes and picture this scene. An expectant mother glides slowly through the water, her hands cutting gentle arcs as ripples spread across the surface. Each stroke carries her forward without strain, her body light, her breath steady. Beneath the water's surface, the movements feel almost dreamlike, as if she and her child are floating together in a shared cradle. In these moments, prenatal swimming becomes more than exercise. It becomes an act of profound communion. The water cradles not only her, but also the tiny being within, echoing the amniotic embrace that sustains her child. Water aerobics, too, brings its own joy. In a room filled with laughter, music, and the gentle splash of coordinated movements, pregnant women gather in solidarity. They march lightly in place, lift their knees, extend their arms, and rotate their hips, each movement enhanced by the resistance of water yet softened by its support. There is camaraderie here, a shared recognition that each participant is walking the same path toward motherhood. Unlike the isolation that sometimes accompanies pregnancy, these sessions cultivate connection and reassurance. With every splash and shared smile, the women remind each other, "You are not alone, you are strong, and we are in this together." Medical research supports what intuition already suggests. Light cardio resistance exercises and aquatic movement offer tangible benefits during pregnancy. Improved circulation reduces swelling in the legs and ankles. Strengthened muscles in the core and pelvis provide better support for the growing uterus. Enhanced endurance helps the body prepare for the demands of labor. Even beyond the physical, there are emotional gifts, reduced anxiety, elevated mood, and a deepened sense of trust in one's body. These are not minor advantages, they are essential elements of maternal well-being, the foundation on which a smoother childbirth and healthier postpartum recovery can be built. But beyond the science, there is the story, the lived experience of women who, in the midst of uncertainty, found empowerment through mindful movement. Take, for instance, the tale of Elena, a first-time mother who initially feared that pregnancy would confine her to stillness. She had always been active, yet the moment she discovered she was carrying a child, she felt fragile, as though her body could break with the slightest misstep. Her doctor, however, encouraged her to seek balance instead of avoidance. Hesitantly, she joined a prenatal water aerobics class. What she discovered surprised her. Not only did the sessions ease her back pain, but they also filled her with joy. She laughed as she moved, felt weightless, and for the first time in weeks, trusted her body again. Months later, as she went into labor, Elena remembered the rhythm of those water exercises and drew strength from them, breathing steadily, moving fluidly, surrendering to the process. Or consider Maya, a woman in her second pregnancy, who had struggled with fatigue and low energy in her first. Determined to approach this new chapter differently, she incorporated light cardio resistance exercises into her mornings. At first, it was no more than 10 minutes of gentle band pulls, squats, and stretches. But as the weeks passed, she noticed subtle shifts: more energy, better sleep, fewer aches. Her story illustrates how even small, consistent practices can ripple outward, shaping the entire pregnancy experience. There is also a poetic symbolism in these exercises that should not be overlooked. To resist is not to fight, but to strengthen. It is to learn the art of meeting challenges with grace. In water, the symbolism deepens further. Just as a mother floats and moves within the pool, her child floats within her womb, each surrounded by a life-giving liquid, each connected by a rhythm of breath and movement. The beauty of these practices lies not in their intensity, but in their adaptability. Every pregnant woman's body is different, and the exercises are not rigid prescriptions, but flexible invitations. They can be adjusted to energy levels, medical conditions, and personal comfort. A woman may choose to swim gentle laps one week and simply walk in waist-deep water the next. She may prefer short sets of resistance band stretches or longer sessions with a prenatal fitness instructor. There is no competition here, no right way to move, only the constant encouragement to listen, adapt, and honor the body's wisdom. Ultimately, the purpose of incorporating light cardio resistance exercises, prenatal swimming, or water aerobics is not to transform the body into something else, but to embrace what it already is, a strong, capable, evolving vessel of life. Pregnancy is not a pause on vitality, but a redefinition of it. Movement becomes a bridge between mother and child, a way of saying, "I am taking care of myself, so I can take care of you." And when the day of birth finally arrives, the hours of preparation echo through every contraction, every breath, every moment of surrender. In the quiet after childbirth, when the baby rests against the mother's chest and the world seems to pause, there is a profound sense of completion. Yet within that stillness, there is also recognition. The journey of strength and grace did not end here. It continues, reshaped once again, as the mother learns new forms of movement, new expressions of care, and new rhythms of love. The exercises, the swimming, the mindful stretches, they remain not as relics of pregnancy, but as lifelong companions, gentle reminders of what the body can endure and the heart can hold. In the end, the story of pregnancy is always a story of transformation. Through light cardio-resistance exercises, prenatal swimming, and water aerobics, pregnant women do more than maintain health. They write a narrative of resilience, joy, and trust in their own bodies. They discover that movement is not merely physical, but profoundly spiritual, a way of aligning breath, body, and being in service of life itself. And perhaps that is the greatest gift of all, to realize that within each careful step, each graceful stroke, and each gentle repetition lies a message whispered to both mother and child. You are strong, you are loved, and you are ready.